the titanic, terrifying battle between the most terrifying monsters within our community come together for one giant clash. The following announcement has been paid for by Monsters with Attitude.
We are your podcast's favorite podcast, living off of one phrase, 3 words. Embrace the attitude.
What's going on, listeners with attitude? Welcome to a very special live presentation of the MWA, where we are breaking down episode 8 of Monarch, Legacy of Days of Our Lives, and I am so excited to be back in the hot seat to build this show the way it rightfully deserves to be. I have unfortunately had to have been off the past few Fridays because the wife had to work, which meant I had to babysit. But apparently you're not allowed to call it babysitting when it's your own kid, but whatever, I digress. As always, I am the host with the most, Mr. Joe Mama, and joined with me, as always, are my brothers from other mothers. Going down the line here, we got the conductor of the Godzilla train, Mr. Adrian Settle. Choo choo! What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm doing great, Joe. How you doing, brother? This is going to be a very interesting episode to talk about. I want to see if someone two spots down from me still got that haterade in his lungs. I guess we'll find out here in a second.
Don't mind me, I just forgot the ability to drink water, apparently.
Swallow.
Excuse me. Going down the line, we have the legendary bearded kaiju himself, Mr. Eric Stolp. It's like stop with an L. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm back here to defend this show because there's been a lot of hate spewing from these members of MWA, and it's baffling, honestly. But yeah, I'm curious to understand the reasonings behind this, and it'll be a lot of fun. So,
yeah. And last but certainly not least, we have the legendary YouTuber himself, Mr. Samson West. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Late, but still great.
Late, but still great. Yeah. A lot of jokes I can say there, but I'm not going to. All right, I want to move on and get a little bit of housekeeping done real quick, as we always do. Embrace all things attitude with the Monsters with Attitude clothing and swag line. Go to tpublic.com and search MWA in the search bar. That's MWA in the search bar. And rep your favorite podcast. Give your new swag a little attitude. Help support our show and help us keep growing. Also, if you guys are interested in anything that Super 7 has to offer, not even just Godzilla stuff, but literally anything, go to super7.com/monsters with attitude 2024. That's super7.com/monsters with attitude 2024. Also, finally, do us all a huge favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and last but certainly not least, that notification bell. Apparently these 3 things help the YouTube algorithm boost our channel, and we greatly appreciate all the support you guys have shown us so far. Now, with that, the bills are paid, and I can close that window so I don't got to power read no more. And I can say hello to the chat. Smaller chat tonight is a very impromptu stream. That's all right. We love it. Alex Sawyer says, let's effing go. Thanks for tuning in, Alex. We appreciate it. Frank, Ohio from T-Base. Yeah. I know what he's doing. Art of Alex Sawyer says, Alex and I loved this episode. Fucking Taro. Yes. It confirms Joe canceled. Yeah, I can't even drink water without joking. So After 4 months of shipping, finally got my shirt. Hey, all right.
Hey.
Give me a hell yeah.
4 months, I'm glad you got it.
Hell yeah.
I said, give me a hell yeah.
Thanks so much for the support, Frank. We love you, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oscar, what's going on, buddy? Oh, and of course, Leslie Chambers is here. I'm sure that the adolescent premature 4-year-olds who can appreciate a good human story in a kaiju show push the show to be live. Yay, we got Godzilla, blah, 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 spoiled effers. Well, let me tell you.
For
Like good
real.
human
Real.
story.
For real.
I don't mind a good human story when there's a good human story. Let me know when you find
Yeah.
it. With your
Yes,
old
please
man
do.
binoculars that you and Eric have. You guys have those thicker frames, so maybe you guys are seeing something we don't.
We know peak when we see it, baby.
Uh-huh. Oscar says, "Don't care how long it took, but I enjoyed episode 2. The episode season 2 on March." Oscar, I don't know what you're saying, but I think he's saying that he enjoyed this episode.
Episode
And
8.
maybe.
I think so.
Maybe.
Alex Andrew Kong going to fight Titan X. I mean, that's all signs are pointing to that. Definitely, if not next episode, probably the last one. I love how Leslie, Eric, and I think Adrian too, and I are defending our Monarch show like the kaiju warriors we are. Please,
Absolutely.
please. Here. Oh, and sure enough, we get a Godzilla battle. Jordan not here. Yeah, I know, right? We finally get the Godzilla battle, and Jordan don't get. That's all right. That's all right. There's always, there's always next episode. Hopefully, we didn't wait 5 episodes with nothing kaiju related, and that's the only Godzilla fight we got. Because otherwise, I would be very disappointed. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That would be very disappointing. Now, because that was a bogus fight. But whatever, we'll get there in a minute. Point of preference, point of disclosure. I didn't make these slides, and I didn't make these questions. I'm filling in for Jordan, so if they suck, take it up with him. Okay?
Oh. They're gonna suck.
Wow. Wow.
All right, story and themes. So what do you think is really going on behind this episode? Each episode seems to have a reoccurring theme or maybe something that they're dealing with. Does something really stand out to you guys pertaining to episode 8? Adrian, I'm going to go ahead and start with you.
Interesting question. Really, the only thing that stands out is I feel like everybody's trying to keep something from somebody else in this episode, especially all the sneaky sneak that non-Apex, non-Monarch team is kind of doing. Well, I guess we'll get into the deeper discussion of that in a little bit. But what they did on that sandy dune, May still kind of seems like she's trying to figure some stuff out that she doesn't really. I'm still kind of fuzzy them kind of on that double agent side where she might be Monarch, but she kind of wants to be there for Brenda as well. I don't know exactly how that's going to turn out. And then, of course, Kentaro and his alliances are kind of mixed up now. We thought that he was going back to Monarch, but the whole time we got duped from that. And of course, Lee just cares about one thing: is trying to kill Titan X because saving it is completely out of the picture for him. So everyone seems to have their kind of own motives on what they want to do exactly, and no one, as of right now, I found the correct solution. So I guess we'll see what happens in these next 2 episodes and find out what they're going to end up doing.
Eric.
Yeah, obviously it's been a minute. I missed a lot of episodes and in between here, but this one in particular, it just seems like they are splitting up our happy-go-lucky group and driving a lot of rifts between each other, and kind of everybody's kind of doing their own thing for their own reasons, and it's different because is their friendship, is their brotherhood, sisterhood strong enough to keep them together and look past those, either selfish reasons or, whatever reasons they have to do what they're doing, are they going to stay friends? Are they going to become adversaries? It's interesting to see. Maybe May does go to Apex. maybe Kentaro does go to Apex, and then they're on opposite sides here. It's interesting to see kind of their origin story and kind of where they came from, where they're going, and where they could end up, honestly, where they became friends or were friends, and then, just were at odds with each other. Great storytelling. They're setting up certain things that could happen down the road. I'm not saying they're gonna, but there's a possibility. So that's interesting to me, and just kind of everything for the story wise. It was just kind of a continuation of what we've seen for the past several episodes, and just kind of come to fruition in this episode where Shaw, called Godzilla. He did what he wanted to do, and he got what he wanted. And it's crazy to see the difference in their thinking and their thoughts on, characters for saving him, wanting to destroy him, this and that. Honestly, I'm kind of with Shaw. Like, he killed your son and your father, and you want to save this thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I understand his not totally on the side of Kiko and Kate, where they want to save Titan X just because she's lost and everything. But like, just like us humans, for every something that we do, there is a consequence. So it's just like, you got to kind of pay for them. Doesn't matter if you're a Titan or not, So I don't know. It's just interesting to see what they're doing and where they're going to take it. So.
Samson,
What exactly was the question again? What stood out in this episode?
what do you think is really beneath the surface in this episode? Meaning maybe surface or underlying stories, themes, essentially.
Well, there's definitely a greater scheme in hand here, because we have random group C coming out of the woodworks with their army trucks and giant net and kidnapping the egg. But what are they going to do with the egg? Did they know that there was an egg this whole time? How did they know to set up this plan this entire time? Because this was pre. They knew this was going to happen, apparently, and how, why, and what are they going to do? So interested, because we haven't seen this guy since the death of Hiroshi. When he took off with the briefcase with the info or something. Maybe that's how he learned about this, because of past data that has been stored for a long time. So, but yeah, what are their evil schemy plans? But as we saw, he's not in the picture anymore. He is gone. He got gone quick.
Yeah, that was pretty epic.
that was unfortunate. So. Yeah, it probably didn't hurt, at least. But no, he's gone. So what? But Kentaro being in leagues with Isabella and this group, because she seems to be the ringleader with this whole situation, because they were the ones in contact with each other. So what's going to happen? I don't know. But the plot is finally thickening, even though it should have happened like 3 episodes ago.
Has this episode changed your understanding of Monarch as an organization? Eric, I'll start with you.
Well, what was the question?
Has this episode changed your understanding of Monarch as an organization?
No. They're still doing what they want to do. They want to protect Titans. They want to understand them. It's like literally what they were trying to do. This has the same feeling as what we saw in 2014, 2019, 2021, and so on. It's just Serizawa fought so hard to say, hey, we need to study these creatures, we need to know what they want, we need to know how they tick. Government obviously pushing back, say, hey, no, we want to destroy them. It's exactly what we got in this episode. So nothing's really changed. I just think who's at the helm and who's running everything is the ones that are kind of messing up everything, and what their real kind of goal is, or what it'll turn out to be. But no, I don't think it changed really anything.
Samson.
No, it hasn't. They're just agreeing with Eric all the way. Nothing is any different. We have not furthered the journey that Monarch is supposed to be having a legacy of, according to the title of the show. It's still exactly the same. They've been floating around in the ocean with their Titan cruiser, whatever it's called, and just keeping an eye. The what? Oh, right, yeah. Just keeping an eye on things from a distance, and nothing's changed. No, I'm just long-winded answer to say no.
Adrian.
Not Monarch directly, because of course I know in this episode their plan, or really the plan, still kind of is to nuke Titan X, is what it seemed like they was trying to do. And I know that wasn't Monarch; that was more just kind of the U.S. government freaking out.
Yeah.
But no, like Eric and Samson said, they're not really trying to change the mission. They are trying to do what they can to kind of protect and learn what this kaiju is all about and trying to do. So really, Monarch hasn't really changed, even though the government's trying to make them change by tracking the Titan down so they can try to blow it up in 1,000 pieces. But Monarch themselves haven't tried to change anything.
How does this episode explore the consequences of humanity interacting with the Titans? Samson. If at all.
I mean, nothing. They didn't really do anything. They had a 1:30 tussle on the beach. So, I mean, we can see in her eyes that she's mad because they're taking her egg away. So now in the next episode, yeah, there could be some consequences for the actions that they're taking by taking her egg. So she actually has a reason to be a villain in this, to be mad and mean and do some more destructive behavior. So no, all she did was make a sandcastle on the beach for a while and play with some birds, and then there's an egg. So nothing. There was nothing that really of consequence happened with the Titans other than a shove battle for 1.5 minutes.
Word. Eric.
No, I agree. There was, I mean, what do you expect is going to happen when you deal with giant creatures? There's going to be casualties. There's going to be things that are broken. I think they already kind of know that because they live with these creatures already. So, I mean, nothing's really changed. Yeah, Shaw lured Godzilla there, but he lured him there for a reason, for a fight. There's nobody around. So, I mean, he literally had the perfect plan to not harm anybody. Nobody would get hurt, nothing be destroyed, and they fight, and hopefully Godzilla killed Titan X and then go away. But, of course, somebody had to mess it up, so no, nothing.
Adrian.
Kind of like I've always said, humans are the real monsters, because Titan X was minding her business, honestly, on that beach. Lee had to bring Godzilla there to make them fight, and then, but I guess we'll stick with Group C because we don't know what that other group is. But Group C had to take Titan X's egg, and she is an angry mama, and someone's gonna pay for that. Very actually, not true. Someone already did pay for that. So,
oh right.
So it could lead to a lot more destruction. Ideally not, but it could lead to a lot more destruction with the fact that they decided to take her egg when they could have just left her alone and let her be a mother like she was trying to be. So we haven't had consequences yet, but consequences are definitely coming very, very soon.
I actually want to jump in there. I think that's my problem with this season. They talk about the consequences of everything, but we've never actually seen it. Like, since Titan X Kokai has gotten released, everybody made it seem like, oh, this destroyer's coming. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. Why? Because she sunk a ship? Like, to me, I don't feel the consequences of her release. It doesn't feel impressive or dangerous, threatening. There's no anxiety there. There's no peril there. And I wish that they would have leaned into that more. And I don't want to say too much because I think that Jordan's going to get to this in a minute here. when we actually talk about the Titans and the world building. But okay, it's great that we find out that Titan X is a mother, but to me, I think that these type of revelations are happening way too late in the season, and probably should have happened 2 or 3 episodes ago, because this season started off strong with episodes 1 and 2, or mostly 1, but it didn't just lose me. It like, honestly, like, if we didn't do this show, I don't know if I would watch it every week. I might have just waited and binge watched it. Like, it really got kind of drug for me. So I would have liked to have seen more of this stuff earlier in the season and fleshing it out. But I think we'll get there, hopefully. If not, I'm circling back to that. Characters deep dive. Which character had the most significant development in this episode, and why? Let's go with Adrian.
It has to be Kotaro. His attitude really towards everybody kind of shifted even when he got back. And really, he's kind of just there to kind of fulfill his mission on what he needs to do to be able to help Group C. And even with his conversation with Kate, it was kind of it was lackluster. That he really didn't want to have that conversation with her or anything like that. So, and then even with Kate, with May, with everybody, he was just, hey, whatever. I'm just here to do what I need to do, and I'm out of here. I mean, yeah, he saved Kate at the end. He saved Kate and let her go with him at the end of the day. But who knows why exactly? And we'll have to wait and see what consequences can come from Kate going with him moving forward.
Do you trust Kentaro's motivations? Do you think he's aligning with Isabella?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I was just gonna ask, like, do you think, even though it might be wrong, do you think in his mind that he's making the right decision or making the hard choice for the greater good? Or do you think that he's actually turning his back on his friends and family?
I think he's doing it I think he thinks he's doing it for the greater good. I feel like he feels that he's kind of following his dad's footsteps, maybe not with Monarch, but being able to make those tough decisions to get the situation handled.
So it seems like when Adrian said Kentaro, everybody kind of shook their head. But I'll re-ask. There's 2 questions here. Which character had the most significant development in this episode, and why? And then the second part is, do you trust his motivations? So Eric, you're next.
I mean, I guess, yeah, that's the only one that really had the biggest change, was Kentaro. And not for the good, and he just kind of became a selfish little craphead. Now, understandable, what he's doing out of hurt. And this kid's hurting because he lost his father. He's making irrational decisions. He's aligning himself with people that he never would have thought of. And now he's letting them fill his head with thoughts or ideas or beliefs that I don't think he normally would. But it's because of what he's gone through in his traumatic experience with, his father passing away right in front of him, kind of thing. So he's still going down that rabbit hole of, depression or whatever. And basically, because you could see, he was hesitant on making that call or saying, hey, it's a go kind of thing. He hesitated because he's like, oh, wait, it's an egg. And he kind of had self-doubt. He was like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do this. But then he was kind of like pushed by Isabella, like, hey, we need to do this or not, and then he was like, okay, let's just do it. And I don't know, it was just kind of weird. You could see that there's conflict within him about making the decisions, and I don't think he's sold on his decisions right now because he's all messed up and don't know what he's doing. So unfortunately, yeah, he's kind of the only one that kind of did anything kind of out of the norm because everybody else is kind of on path doing their thing. Nothing has changed for everybody else. So.
Samson, which character had the most development, and do you trust Kentaro's motivations?
I like how you answered the question for me. He straight up was like, yeah, I know. Yeah, Kentaro. I don't even know how I can piggyback any further off of what everybody said. Everybody else, Eric put it best. All the other characters are still doing their exact same thing since the beginning of the season. Maybe Shaw has changed a little bit with trying to take matters into his own hands with Godzilla, but that's very slight. It's very slight for Shaw. But Kentaro is definitely bouncing all over the place, from wanting to help Monarch to now being with Group C and helping Isabella Simmons, and he seems a little schemy. There's a little bit of a dark side to it. You can see it in his eyes because Kate even yelled at him, and he kind of just wasn't affected by her emotions in the matter. He's like, whatever, I'm doing this. This is what I think it needs to be done. So I'm going to be on par with these guys, and we're going to do it. So his motives have changed since the beginning of the season for sure. And everything Eric said was absolutely just hitting the nail on the head with his father dying and that emotional shift. So yeah, it's him.
I agree with everything everybody said. And I actually like the fact that Kentaro's kind of like, no, I'm doing it. Like, he's getting away from kind of that like beta mentality and, putting his foot down to everybody and being like, no, I don't care. I'm doing it because I think this is right. Instead of him being influenced by Cora or Kate or whoever. I like the fact that he's actually standing up to them and being like, you guys are stupid. Your ideas suck, and I'm trying something new. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Because their ideas do suck. Mm-hmm. All right, Titans, world building. Let's be honest. The whole reason why we watched this show. And in fact, the past like 4 episodes, I felt like that Jurassic Park meme where it's like, you are going to have actual dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour. And,
God.
We finally got it for a minute and a half. 1 minute and 1/2. What are you guys' thoughts on Godzilla's proper introduction this season? A whole 8 episodes later. Literally the last minute and a half. Let's go with Eric. I can just see him glaring daggers at me.
I'm not glaring nothing. I thought it was fine. I thought how they approached it and how they shot it was beautiful. Some of the angles that they used for Godzilla and how he was swimming, or when he was rising up from the beach, or the back angle shot from him roaring at Titan-X. Beautiful shots, man. Like I love that stuff. Like that was great. That was a great entrance. Obviously, would we have liked more fighting? Obviously, but for what we got now, saying hopefully we get more, there's 2 episodes left. Obviously, we should get a Kong interaction, but then we should get like all 3 kind of thing interaction also, hopefully. But for what we got, it was just kind of necessary to get him in there. But I thought it was fine. I thought it was a decent little wrestling match. You're not going to get punches thrown. You're not going to get, all this kind of stuff, because you got to look at the anatomy of Titan-X and how you think she would fight. She would fight like a squid or an octopus. They're going to grab you. They're going to try to strangle you. They're going to pull you where they want you to be. You have to look at her that way, because that's how she would attack. He actually had scars and wounds around his neck and on his body from her tentacles. So she was actually wounding Godzilla, which was a nice little touch. And I like that she avoided the atomic breath, because if she would have already been over, probably, So she kind of had to avoid that because, and also too, she wasn't even focused on him anymore. She was focused on her baby being taken away and stuff. And she was just like, all right, like I don't even want you anymore. And maybe that's why the fight was so brief, because the distraction was there for them not to tangle for so long. So she's like, oh, hey, get off of me. I'm going this way because, you know, it has my baby. But Godzilla was in pursuit, which is great. So who knows? Maybe we'll get an underwater fight in the next episode. And, you know, Titan X kind of pushes Godzilla away and kind of goes and kind of gets some distance between them and stuff. And then maybe, you know, arrives at Skull Island or something. I don't know. But I thought it was decent. It was a nice little tussle with them, shot beautifully, and I didn't mind it. I thought it was a kind of a pretty creative and nice little fight that they had. So,
do you think that? And obviously, we don't know. There's 2 episodes left.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that what we saw last night was a good enough payoff for waiting 8 episodes?
Depends on your perspective on if you've liked the rest of the season or not. If you haven't, then for you don't like what we got last night. But for me personally, I've liked this whole season. I've liked what we've gotten. I've liked the human story and the character building and what's going on with them. It's kept me intrigued. It's kept me wanting to watch more. So sprinkling in that kaiju action, I'm okay with that. There's a lot of other Godzilla movies that we've gotten that, and I love those kind of movies. So I'm okay with it.
Samson.
He ain't gonna bait me.
What? What'd you say? Look to my face, Eric. What'd you say? I got bad ears. I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
yeah. What you?
Sorry, I got distracted. The kids keep opening and closing the front door and letting all the AC out. So I have to keep tackling that. What was it? A proper entrance, or what was the exact nature
Godzilla's
of it?
proper introduction this season. What'd you think?
Finally. It's finally. It was gnarly. It was too short for sure. This should have happened many episodes ago, I feel like. If this had happened in episode 5 or 6, like it should have, like the halfway point is when we really should have seen something like this. But it was gnarly. He was a big boy. I mean, that tail swipe was pretty. I mean, he just like hit her full force. That was like his first move, just bam. So that was cool. And Eric, you're absolutely correct in everything you said about like the whole. She's fighting like a squid. I mean, what really can she do? I feel like she maybe should have tried to bite him some more with those gnarly teeth that she's got, because that would probably be a pretty bad bite. But yeah, all it could really be is a shoving match between a squid and a lizard. There's nothing more that can really happen between these two, except for the beam battle. But we don't think that she has any supernatural powers like that, other than talking to a Japanese chick underwater. So a minute.
Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you were done. Go, please.
A minute and 30 seconds. And then just like cuts us off, that cliffhanger. Dang. It should have happened sooner, but I'm glad it did finally happen. But I wanted more. And I was watching the time, like I was looking at the timeline as I was watching. I was like, okay, there's like 10 minutes left. Godzilla needs to go faster. I was like, let's go faster. Must go faster. If we're going to keep doing Jurassic Park references, must go faster. So yeah. And then they took her egg and other Jurassic Park reference. Mommy's very angry. So,
oh my gosh, Adrian.
I should be wearing the Jurassic Park shirt, not Adrian.
So I actually already mentioned this yesterday in our private chat, and I'm gonna mention it again. Samson, there's no satisfying you. My God, all season long you've been whining and complaining, and we finally get Godzilla this episode, and it's not good enough for you. Stop it right now. And the reason why I say that is because I go back to how 2014 was. We didn't get a whole lot of kaiju action in that movie either, and we couldn't see absolutely nothing in that movie. This this minute 30 seconds of Godzilla in this show was, like Eric said, it was beautiful. Everything looked great. The fighting was cool. It would have been cool if it was a little bit longer, but honestly, I really enjoyed it, and it was a decent payoff for me because I've been wanting Godzilla to come too, but I also like the show, so I'm not going to be upset with a minute and 30 seconds of Godzilla because hey, I got my fill of Godzilla. There's still 2 more episodes left. I'm sure we'll get a little bit more kaiju action, so I'm honestly just fine with it.
Whatever. Do you,
Oh my god!
whatever. Do you guys sympathize with Titan X now knowing that she is not the threat of this season? Also, I want to kind of expand on that a little bit. Narratively, do you think that's the right call, or do you think it's a mistake to have her not being an aggressive Titan or an evil Titan or whatever? The fact that she's good. Eric, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I guess I'll go ahead because I know me and you have had discussions about.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were raising your hand. I apologize. I didn't mean to. Or were you not ready?
No. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm just saying we've had our discussions about this, actually particular subject. And I've stated that I didn't think that she was a menace. She was just misunderstood. And lo and behold, it's kind of how it's going. But I will admit, as I say that, I do kind of wish that she was a threat, that she was this thing that needed to be stopped, that, Monarch was trying to stop her, that they needed Godzilla, they needed Kong to stop Titan X because she was on this rampage and whatever. Because I mean, I know looks can be deceiving. Obviously, she looks very menacing. She looks very mean. She just looks like an evil Titan. I mean, case in point, you take it on the flip side. You talk about and look at Shimo. Shimo is just this cuddly little dog-looking thing, and of course, then she's nice. But then you get Titan X that just looks just gnarly, and she's nice too. And it's just like, oh well. No, I kind of really wanted this like threat to go up against Kong and Godzilla. So as much as I'm, had this thought, this kind of intuition about Titan X and where it was going early on, I did wish that she was kind of a actual mean Titan and that she needed to be put down kind of thing. So I will admit that.
Samson.
The trailer led us to believe that she was going to be a huge threat, and so was the whole show. Like, oh my god! Even though now that we are on the 8th episode, it's like, okay, she was supposed to be this threat, this menacing thing, that we need Godzilla to stop her. She has to fight Kong. It's everything we were led to believe with the way that she looked and just the way that she was represented. I was expecting something more menacing out of her. So to be flipped 180 and it's just, oh, she's a ma'am. She's just a ma'am. And she's trying to protect your little baby eggs. I wanted her to be more gnarly and more threatening and just like with the look of her. Yeah, what Eric said. She looks gnarly. She should be gnarly.
Adrian.
So I'm not gonna lie. I am kind of disappointed she isn't more of a threat because, like Eric and Samson both said, that's kind of what they led us to believe in the trailers and everything. But for the theme of the season, it makes sense only because, again, I say it all the time: humans are the real monsters. So to me, it's always the humans that end up creating what a monster is at the end of the day. And I feel like in this season they're really trying to push that envelope where it's like, hey, she was just fine until we started messing with her, and this is why Monarch is here to kind of protect and learn how to live amongst these titans, not interrupt or not to stop what they're already doing, because really they were here first and they have their own patterns and their own behaviors for certain reasons. And so far in the season, all they've been doing is, well, Apex, all they've been doing is messing with Titan X and making her aggressive when she has been aggressive. So it makes sense that's the kind of kaiju. I am a little disappointed, but it makes sense for this show.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed by it. Some of you guys have touched on my feelings on it, and we've all kind of talked behind the scenes. Like, I kept saying this whole season, I'm like, why is everybody so freaked out over Titan X? Like, she hasn't done anything. She broke out and then went for a swim for 8 episodes until she finally landed in Australia and then went sunbathing. Like, she hasn't done anything of importance at all this season. And that, I think, is honestly more than my disappointment in what we're getting from the human cast. Is my number one disappointment is she hasn't done anything. There's been no awesome scenes with her. There's been no, like, just breathtaking visuals. There's been no ultra interesting lore that's kept me hooked. There's been no nothing. Like, she's literally broke out of, or was released from her cocoon and went for a nice swim for 7.5 episodes, and then, like I said, went sunbathing. And then you find out, well, no, she's not bad. She's mommy. She's mom. She's a little mommy.
Man.
She's a little egg. And it's like, okay, that's unexpected, I guess, but maybe it would mean more to me if, and I saw the chat, Eric, I think you brought up Shimo. It's the same thing with Shimo. And the New Empire, it's, the way this trailer was released and cut, it's like, oh my gosh, Shimo, between Shimo and Scar King, Godzilla has to evolve. I'll be honest, I don't really feel like either of them were impressive enough to feel like Godzilla had to evolve. Like, so we already kind of had that with Shimo, where, well, no, she's a world ender, or a whatever, a cataclysm kaiju, but she's just being controlled. She's not bad. It's like, oh, I don't know. Like, I want to see some Titans fight Godzilla for the reign of the king. I want to see him have to defend that throne. If they keep mentioning, they even mentioned it in this episode, Godzilla's the king of the monsters, and they even had the kaiju bow to him at the end of King of the Monsters and everything. Like, okay, well, if he's the king, prove it. I want to see it. Like, you don't become a king by just declaring yourself a king. You become a king by vanquishing your enemies. Let me see some of his enemies. I want to see these people go against him and say, hey, you know what? That's an apex or an alpha titan of that category, and they're going to naturally butt heads like an alligator and a whatever the hell an alligator fights. Like, I just,
Steve Irwin.
There's a what?
Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin, yeah, an alligator
God.
and Steve Irwin. There's so much that wasn't there, and I don't know. It was just a very underwhelming swerve to me. I feel like if we had a whole season of Monarch chasing Kokai around the globe because she got knocked off of her migratory route, and she was making landfall in all of these different harbor towns and destroying them. But really, we've come to find out that the only reason why she's destroying them is because she's confused. She should be landing in different parts of the world that are her actual migratory routes, and the only reason why she's being aggressive is because she can't lay her egg and she's being desperate. And then if we found that out, I don't know, 3 or 4 episodes ago, like Samson said, you'd be like, oh, okay. But then they'd have to actually show and allow her to do something. She swam this entire season. And Samson, I believe you said it, you're the one that said this, that the trailer for, we need Kong and Godzilla, and we need them both, and that you do. She swam all season. Very disappointed. Very disappointed. How do you guys like the way the Titans are portrayed? I guess you could even say in the Monsterverse, but specifically in Monarch. Do you feel like they are being portrayed more as threats, gods, or something else? Samson.
What betrayal?
Yeah, we need to actually have monsters in this show in order to figure that out.
Yeah, we really haven't gotten that full taste yet for this season. I mean, in the Monarch legacy of monsters in total, I guess between season 1 and 2, and Monsterverse in general, I mean, they're giant animals they have territorial behavior, and they bump into each other and get mad and start fighting. It's not Hero Godzilla from the 60s and 70s. It's not the anti-hero from Heisei. He's just kind of his own thing. He's just a giant god that protects his territory at all cost. And if somebody gets out of line, he's going to stop it. So, yeah, that's about it. They're just giant creatures. That seems to be the best way that they're represented to this. Is just oversized animals trying to do their own thing, and we won't leave them alone. And just like any animals messing with each other's territories, they're going to butt heads if you cross their paths. And they're like, "Hey, you don't belong here." No, especially Godzilla. He's like, "No, you're doing things I don't like. You're out of line. I'm gonna stomp you into nothing."
Eric.
I mean, basically, they're just kind of portrayed as like mythological creatures. That they're just. We're wowed when we see them, or when people see them. We're wowed when we discover them or find information about them. And, but they just don't know what to do with them. I believe, what we have for Monarch right now is just that they're so early in their kind of organization history, is that they don't really know what to do with these things. And they're kind of doing it as they go, honestly. They observe, they monitor, but that's kind of about it. They don't have facilities, they don't have holding areas, they don't have any of this stuff, for Monarch. And maybe it's because it is early on in the organization's history, but they just kind of look at these as just like, just spectacles, I guess. And they just kind of want to stay out of their way, or get people out of their way. So if they do come, across your path, you're not going to be a casualty, or they can save lives. And they're just kind of trying to avoid them, honestly, as a whole for Monarch, because they're always monitored. They're always, they have the alarms, in cities now, letting people know that Titans are nearby or in the area or whatever, and just kind of trying to save as many lives as they can, because I think they realize that these are oversized animals, and there's really nothing you can do about them. I mean, gosh, you try to nuke them, and that doesn't work. That's our strongest weapon as for humanity. So it's just like you kind of have to just get out of their way and just spectate from afar and just admire them for what they are. Because, I mean, we've done it our whole lives for admiring species and, different things that we don't know. And, that's what we do. We do it even nowadays, where we talk about species that used to live on Earth that's extinct now, and think that they're bigger than life. They're larger than life. You guys have been talking about Jurassic Park as of late. Same thing. They're spectacles. There's something that you just never would think you'd see or interact with. And these things are here and now in their world. And there's nothing you could do but just sit there and watch them, just like this shot. They're just sitting there and just watching this battle happen, because there's nothing you can do. That's literally what I would do. If I saw Godzilla coming, I would pop a squat and I would be like, all right, this is amazing. If he steps on me, he steps on me. Okay. But I got to see him, and this, it is what it is. But, that's all they can really do. So
Yeah, like a tornado or a hurricane or any natural disaster. Just there's
natural
alarms
disaster.
and there's
cannot do
precautions, but yeah.
Adrian.
I mean, honestly, Samson and Eric kind of said it perfectly. I really don't have anything more to add, to be honest. We don't have anything more to add. So, no, perfectly said, guys. Perfectly said.
All right. Craft and execution. Did the pacing work for you guys, or did anything feel rushed or dragged out? And I'm gonna kind of combine them all. How do you feel like this episode compared to the prior ones in the season? I'm actually going to go first, maybe help you guys understand the combination of these two questions. This is probably my favorite. I don't know, last episode was pretty good. Either last episode or this episode was two of my favorites for the season so far. I think last episode was pretty good, having both Shaws interact. I do think that there is a pacing problem, not necessarily in this episode. I don't mind that it took to the very end for Godzilla to finally show up, because we had a few different tease scenes with him, with his eye opening and then him swimming and then ultimately his final arrival. I thought that was a nice buildup. I just think that the majority of my complaints is the interesting stuff that's happening is happening way too late in the season. Samson, I believe you're the one that said this. Their first fight should have happened halfway through the season to kind of like hook you as almost like a halfway point or a mile marker of sorts. Of the fact that this is the first fight we've got and we're 8 episodes in. Yeah, I feel like it's a little rushed, and I feel like they're going to bog down the final couple episodes with a lot of the real big meat and potatoes of what the whole season probably should have been about. In my opinions, take out episodes 3 and 4 entirely, because I think they were a waste. I think they spent way too much time narratively on the love story and the love triangles between the original cast and the newer cast, or the older people and the newer people. I know they did that. I know they had a love story and a love triangle in the first season. But, and Eric, you and I had said this when you and I were talking. In season 1, the love story felt more like a garnish on a really good plate. This season, it feels like the love story for a time, maybe not the past couple episodes, but for a time they were trying to force it on you as a, hey, here's the steak and potatoes that you ordered. It's like, that's not the steak and potatoes I ordered. I know what steak and potatoes are. I effing love steak and potatoes. I'm a fat guy. I know steak and potatoes. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a Caesar salad.
Yeah, and you're trying to give me, I don't know. Yeah, Caesar salad. Caesar salad's good too, but guess what? It's a great addition to the main course, not the main course. And I think that's where it tonally really fell short with me, because I think a lot of this stuff that happened should have happened earlier in the season, and certain things narratively should have never happened, like the death of Hiroshi. I just think that all of this stuff, I just feel like this whole season has been very garbled, and here's the point that they're pushing, but really back here is the point that they're kind of skimming along, but the one that they're skimming along is really actually what I wanted more of. And I think that's my problem, is that they reversed it from what season 1 is. So yes, I do feel like a lot of this has felt rushed, because I feel like it should have happened before and been fleshed out further the further we went along in the story.
Pretty much everything me and you talked about last night.
Yeah, exactly. Adrian.
So I personally don't have an issue with the pacing of this season. I don't think it's rushed that.
I want to address that real
rushed
quick.
that.
I'm sorry, Adrian. I don't mean to interrupt you. I want to address that real quick.
I knew you would.
A movie is an hour and a half to 2 hours long. We are 6, 7, 8 hours. Each episode is 40, 50 minutes.
Yeah.
We are 8 hours into a show, and we finally got Godzilla. I don't mind waiting. I don't mind a slow burn. I'm a big fan of wrestling, or old school wrestling with the slow burns and stuff, and storylines that take a long time to pay off if they're good. To me, though, there wasn't enough. The Hogan Sting feud was an 18-month build. They didn't touch for a long time, but guess what? Sting still showed up every few weeks, every couple of months, descended from the rafters, repelled the NWO, or maybe the NWO finally, are they going to get their hands on Sting? There was something there. They didn't just say, oh, in 18 months from now, we're going to fight. And then they never interacted, never did anything, no promo, no interaction, no violence, no backstage segment, no nothing for 18 months. There was little things dropped in, and there just wasn't enough little things dropped in for me. That's just me. But Alex, for sure, I'm happy that you're happy with the season. I am a firm believer we can passionately disagree, and Alex, I think that you and Adrian and Eric are entitled to be wrong, and I am entitled to be right, as I always am, right?
God.
I kid. Adrian, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, you're good. And looking at it from that perspective, I get where you're coming from with that, Joe. But I mean, that's what we have to remember. This is a TV show. A lot of TV shows, well, not to say a lot, but we do have some TV shows that kind of make us grind it out for a while before we get any type of action whatsoever, or any type of, I guess, consequences to what's going on in that particular show. I'm having a hard time thinking of one immediately right now, but I'm pretty sure there are some shows out there that they really make you wait before anything starts happening. But but for me with this show, like me, you already talked about, Joe. What's going to happen these last 2 episodes? What's the payoff going to be? We won't know until we get these last 2 episodes if it was worth it at the end of the day. So this episode does keep me on this train. 'Cause again, I do enjoy this. I do actually enjoy this show. Even with the small hiccups here and there, I enjoy the show overall. So I was honestly fine that we got what we got in this episode. That's why I was trying what we got in this episode, because okay, we're starting to see the payoff now, and this is just a little tease. We have 2 more episodes left that we don't know what's going to happen, and we don't know what's going to happen. So with that being said, I'm fine with the way the pacing's been so far.
Yeah. And I think another issue that I had as far as like pacing and stuff feeling rushed, I feel like they just kind of gave up. And again, there's 2 episodes left, so maybe I'm going to be proven wrong on this. What happened with Kokai back in, is it 63 or 53 or 57 or something? Like
63.
63? Like, we saw her show up at, is it Soledad? But then, like, to me, the flashback shouldn't have been them sleeping together, and then I don't mind that happened, but like, to me, the flashback should have been them dealing with her back then. Like, what happened? We haven't seen anything. How did they get rid of her? Where did she go? What happened? Did she attack more places? Or the flashbacks could have even, like, what happened with Bill? Like, it show him more tracking her and making that map. Like, all of this stuff, there's so many questions for that I want. That to me would make this season interesting. Show me her origin. Samson.
I missed the question because Mom came in here telling me to help punish some kids being misbehaved.
Mama West We're doing a show, damn it.
I
know.
Did the pacing work for you this episode, or did anything feel rushed? And I'm combining it with the next question. And how does this episode compare to earlier ones this season?
Here we go.
Well, this one was fairly short because the credits started rolling at 39 minutes, and I guess the pacing was fine. The kaiju pacing wasn't fine, but the pacing with the characters was fine. Again, not a lot really happened. Not just Kurt Russell setting up the Titan phone to call Godzilla, and then the rest of the Scooby-Doo and the gang trying to stop him from doing that, getting to the island, and just it was fine. But I guess it was much better pacing than previous episodes. Other episodes so long, drawn out, and boring, and also nothing happened. A little bit more happened in this one. I think I liked the last one more. I think episode 7 with the Lee talking to Lee stuff, that was pretty sci-fi and cool. And I'm glad that we did get the monster action that we got in this.
Not sci-fi.
But no, I've mentioned it a couple times along with Joe. It's just a lot of this stuff, and not even just the kaiju stuff, even like the reveal with Isabella Simmons. She maybe should have shown up and like made a connection with Kentaro and stuff earlier on, and just some of the human stuff that's been in development should have happened sooner. Not just the kaiju stuff showing up sooner, just a lot of stuff. Joe said it perfectly. Episodes 3 and 4 should just not really have existed, or it should have happened like that. Both those episodes should have been 15 minutes of whatever happened in that those 2 episodes. So
I think Alex Sawyer brings up a really interesting point. I think he's right. He feels that Monarch would benefit from having way more episodes than 10. It feels like the writers are constrained with those limitations. I would honestly probably agree, because I can't help but feel like episodes 3 and 4 almost felt like filler to me. And I think that's what got me starting to have a bad taste in my mouth, because I was like, you only have 10 episodes. Why do these feel like filler? And like Samson said, honestly, I felt like episodes 3 and 4 could be combined into one episode. Too much. I don't know. Too much.
it's
all right.
It's just a shame. Yeah,
Yes,
the 10 episode thing, you're right. It maybe 15 would be better so that we could drag it out a little bit longer, but they're rushing it. I really hope the last 2 episodes don't feel rushed with what needs to be accomplished, because there has not been the world building and like the huge drastic change with Monarch and Apex quite yet. And we got 2 more episodes left to expose all this cool stuff. I really hope it's not rush me.
Well, speaking of those 2 episodes, what theories and predictions, Samson, since you're talking about it, what are your predictions for the last 2 remaining episodes this season? And did this episode hint at anything or any major twists coming up?
Well, the big one was the Titan egg. Her egg. It's like, oh, okay. And they knew about it because they made a plan to kidnap it. But why? And is that going to have anything to do with the whole controlling Titans thing that Apex keeps trying to push that agenda? And because I can't stay away from some spoilers.
Well, then don't talk about them.
Oh, no. Just the thumbnail for next week. We know where they're heading. So we know what we're possibly going to see.
Do?
We're gonna probably... the thumbnail shows it, so I guess I won't say. But yeah, who knows? What are they going to do with the egg? It's all been a mystery. It's very, very abrupt cliffhangers that don't offer a lot to really dissect. I don't know. This one kind of felt just like, oh man, the whole episode was about getting Godzilla to show up, and he did. And then now we have an egg, so okay, that's cool. They take it away. What are they going to do? An experiment with that? Are they going to try to control it? Are they going to use it to talk to her? Are they going to use Kate and the egg to try to control Titan X because of the whole psychic connection thing? I don't know. I'm not a heavy deep thinker when it comes to predictions. I've just been here for the ride and to complain a bunch.
Samson, you're not a heavy deep thinker when it comes to anything, buddy. That's okay. I
know.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I love you. Eric, I want to come to you last, actually, because I've been needling you this whole episode. I'm trying to get you to argue with me, but you're not taking my bait, and I don't like it. So I'm going to try one
I'm
last
not.
time. Adrian.
Theories and predictions. Oddly enough, I don't really have any. The only thing I can think of is, I mean, obviously they're going to be chasing the egg. The question is, what? I guess my only theory is, I kind of want to know is, what are they taking the egg? And I haven't seen the thumbnail for for next episode, so I'm legit just shooting in the dark. I'm assuming they're probably going to take that egg back to Skull Island. Is my thought process to get Titan X away from the public and just get them more in a better environment to be in. I'm assuming that's the only theory I have, honestly. Everything else is kind of just up in the air right now.
And also, that's where she came from. She came out of Skull Island. So
Exactly.
Eric.
Like I stated before, maybe a prediction would be we might get a underwater fight with Godzilla and Titan X on our way to our next destination. I don't really have any theories because I haven't had a lot of complaint with what's going on so far. There's maybe some things I would change writing wise, but for the most part, like I stated, I like the way the season's going and how it's progressing. My biggest, I think, complaint right now is that I want to see more of Apex and why they're evil, what makes them evil, what are they doing? Let's make them the bad guys. Let's make them the ones that we hate. Because right now they have us hating the main cast because of their decisions. We should be hating on Apex because we already know what Apex does and what they try and do and whatever. We should be hating. They're not getting us to hate them enough. So I want to see more of their interactions and why they're such a bad company and this evil organization and blah, blah, blah. We already know what happens later and what they do. We get that. But what are they doing now? What are they doing for us to dislike them or get that kind of reputation and whatever? Because Tim already says he doesn't like them. They're fishy. They're suspicious. They're doing everything, blah, 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 this and that. But why? Like, okay, so they lied a little bit. Okay, cool. And then their other thing was, okay, we're trying to control it so it doesn't harm anybody, blah, 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 this and that. Okay, sounds reasonable, But like, I want to hate them. I want to hate them like they're the Planet X aliens or the black hole aliens or the Keylocks or like I want to hate them. Like I want them to be the bad guy. We don't really have a bad guy in this season at all. They made it sound like it was Titan X, but lo and behold, it wasn't. And that's why I had this feeling that she really wasn't bad. So, but we just don't have that like focal point of, okay, this is the bad guys. These are the people that we want you to hate. And these are the reasons. And that's it. So I want to see more of their wrongdoings and stuff that they're not supposed to be doing for me to dislike them more. That's really it.
I have two theories. One of them I think is more far-fetched than the other. The first one is I think that Apex is interested in Titan X because of her ability to control the scarabs. And I wonder if that'll eventually be an early prototype form of the technology that is used to link Ghidorah, and I forget the pilot's name, with Mechagodzilla. So I wonder if there's something there or maybe there's an organ or something that certain Titans have, or I don't know what, but they are able to discover it with Titan X and create a very early prototype base form of it. But maybe it's not as strong. They need a stronger Titan. But they at least have the somewhat of the groundwork or foundation made for that technology. And then ultimately, once Ghidorah arrives, they have their vessel that they are allowed to harness or harvest to create that technology. My second theory is that Jonah is funded by Apex. Jonah, who we see Charles Dance's character in King of the Monsters, the old guy. I think that he is going to be funded by Apex and to release the Titans and King of the Monsters as a way for maybe some government contracts, government funding to go Apex's way, type of thing that'll speed up their process and building. I think they already have the designs and the schematics or the ideas of Mechagodzilla, but they need the green light for the funding and for some, dark defense programming or whatever. And maybe they use him as a way to get the resources they need from Titans, but also releasing Titans in order to, what's the famous quote, never let a good crisis go to waste. There's few politicians that are famous for saying that, and it's like, oh yes, this thing that's really, really bad happened, but because of that, we can now get these bills and laws passed that wouldn't have otherwise been passed without this horrible event happening. Or, hey, I really wanted funding for this project that my donors gave me, but nobody would have ever agreed to, I don't know, $2 trillion or whatever it is for a defense budget or program. But now that this super bad event happened, people are scared, and out of their fear, they will make rash decisions. So I don't know. Those are my two theories. That's all I got. All right, guys, we've gone over an hour. Thanks for tuning in, Eric. I'm mad at you for not taking any of my bait and starting an argument with me. I really tried. Any last final thoughts, feelings on Monarch so far? Still got 2 episodes left. Hopefully we see a lot more of what we got these last 2 episodes.
No, honestly, I agree with you, Joe. Just what we got from the last 2 episodes have been pretty good. Let's just keep that train going and let's get a great payoff.
Yeah.
Oops. Alex says we should have an Apex spinoff too that lets us fast fully hate the ever living shit out of it. Yes. No, listen, I think that go ahead, Eric.
No, I was just gonna say it needs to be like Cobra, like from G.I. Joe, like Cobra, like do a spinoff of just the bad guys, or the Decepticons or something. Like, we know they're evil because they do these evil things. Why are they evil? Like I said, get me to want to hate them.
Yeah, I agree. I also think they need to do a better job of bringing in some unlikable characters that represent Apex, because so far none of the executives or people that we've seen really so far have made me feel like they're super nasty. They just kind of feel like cutthroat businessmen or women. They don't feel greedy or nasty or evil, and I want to see more of that. Where they're maniacal megalomaniac type people.
I think they should bring in Albert Simmons.
Yeah.
Like they need to bring him in for these final 2 like episodes and like introduce him and know, okay, we know you, but he was that suave, like arrogant douche that you just like, oh, I already hate you just from looking at you and hearing you talk, you know, like you immediately like, all right, I know you're the bad guy, you know, you're the one that's funding all this stuff, blah, 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 this and that, and thinking he's God, you know, and everything. Bring him in here. We would immediately zone him like, all right, we already know him. He's the bad guy. And then it would kind of up the status of Apex, I think, as a whole, because then now you see, okay, he's the one that's obviously the mastermind behind the curtain. We already know it's him, but like seeing him, bring him in here, I think that would do a lot of good, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, maybe I had too high of expectations this season. Maybe they marketed it wrong and I fell for it. And maybe that's why I'm, overall so far giving this season, I'm, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 type of thing. But I agree. There's a lot that could still save this season to me. I understand you guys like it, but to me, it's not completely lost. They just need to really make sure that these last 2 episodes
deliver,
really stick the landing.
Well, it's not just us. It's not just us as fans, as we've talked about before. We see it on Apple TV where it's listed out of the 10 top shows. It's at the halfway point. It started at number 1 when it first premiered, and I think it maintained that for the first 2 episodes. But now it's at 5, and I think it's been there since episodes 3, 4, and onwards. So it's not just us, the fans; it's all the viewers that are watching the show.
Yeah, I will say season 1 was consistently number 1 or 2, and when I do check Apple, season 2 is 4, 5, 6. So yeah, for sure.
So it's the ratings. It's not just us talking.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, we got next week. Hopefully, it's just as awesome as this episode. It sure better be. We only got 2 left.
Awesomer.
Yeah. But before we get out of here, April 26th, we are talking Beast Wars 30-year celebration event that is at 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern, 4:30 Mountain Time, and 3:30 Pacific. And what a great show. Honestly, this is such a huge part of all of our childhoods. Grew up with it. I think we all collected and played with the toy, or maybe not collected, but played with the toys and watched the show. All of us did, right, Samson?
I had one toy growing up. I had Dinobot.
Have you seen a single episode?
Oh yeah, I've been watching it slowly but surely. The animation is it's oh god, but
product of its
just
time, sure.
A lot of maximize and oh god,
Terrorize.
Yeah, terrorize. I was like, God, what was the villain's one? Yeah, it's almost exactly the same. Maximize, terrorize. Oh, god.
Hey, we need to start including Japan Standard Time in our shows for Frank.
Oh God, now I'm
right now.
Frank. Jesus.
Stick that landing, unlike WrestleMania. Oh, Frank. Speaking of WrestleMania, real quick, guys, tune in April 26th, Beast Wars. Really excited to talk about that show. Going to be hosted by Jordan. But speaking of WrestleMania, so next Sunday is WrestleMania, and
this Sunday.
No. This weekend.
This Sunday.
This weekend.
This Saturday and Sunday.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah, don't you ever correct me again. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. This Sunday, excuse me, like I was saying correctly, this Sunday is WrestleMania. And we're going to be, most of us are going to be predisposed anyways, but the fact that half of us can't make it and that it is WrestleMania and our viewers would probably be in the toilet, we are going to actually take a week off for the first time in 2 years and not do an episode on Sunday. So you will not see our lovely faces, but that does not mean that you will not see us at all, because like I said, next Friday, a week from today, you will see us for episode 9 discussion of Monarch. A week from Sunday, you will see us with Beast Wars. No show this coming Sunday. Who knows? Maybe we can plan a box day or fun other little thing. I don't know. We can see what's going on and
figure something out.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. But any last parting words from you fine gentlemen before I wrap this thing up?
Samson's a crybaby.
I do. Just real quick, just to satisfy Samson's just intellectuul genius.
Oh
because
boy,
that's what he does. Because I want to show him something. You see that right in the middle?
No, I don't have my glasses.
That's Monarch Season 2, Legacy of Monsters, has a 79% Rotten Tomatoes rating and a 72% audience. That's pretty high, honestly. So you can't.
What was season 1?
You want me to do that?
It was 79-72.
All right, let me see if I can find it here.
Well, there's a drop down arrow in the.
Okay, let me.
There's a season 2 drop down arrow.
Oh yeah.
Let Eric Cookie got it.
79-72. Oh.
86-76.
Oh.
But that was a completely finished season. We are not done yet. It is literally only 7 points away for the Rotten Tomato, and only 4 points away, was it? For the audience?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So
79,
it's
72.
damn near the same, and that was a full season. We still have 2 episodes to go. So you can't tell me everybody hates it, because it still has a pretty high score for both. So
did I say everybody hates it? No, I said the ratings
you
are.
Did actually? You're like, all the people are showing it online. Everybody hates it.
I didn't say hate. I said it's dropped in the ratings.
Everybody rewind the stream and see exactly what he just said.
He said hate. He said hate.
I don't know if he said hate or
not. Not hate. Maybe dislike.
Maybe.
But the point of what he said though is true, that when you would turn on Apple TV in season 1, it was constantly number 1, 2. Now every time we turn it on, it's 5.
Yeah, it's at 5 right now.
It's at 5 right now, and the new episode just dropped. It didn't even bump. That's not good.
It's okay.
Be patient, gentlemen. Be patient.
By your logic, though, couldn't the numbers drop even further for the completed season?
They could. We just don't know yet. But as of right now, what we've gotten from what you guys have said that you do not like, it has a pretty high rating for what we have out of 8 episodes. That's what I'm saying.
Let's reconvene this at the end of the season.
Okay, we'll check it.
You wanna bet? You want to put a little bet out there, Eric? Like I did?
No. I'm not ridiculous. No. Heck no. I'm not losing this ever again. I don't care what's on the line.
All right. Well, with that, we will wrap it up. Hopefully, Eric will take my bait and have a friendly debate and maybe a robust conversation, if you will, at the end of this train wreck that is season 2 of Monarch. And we can debate. We can debate some points that we liked and didn't like, because Eric and I can go at it like cats and dogs.
Yeah, we can actually.
We really can. Yeah, and then eventually Eric realizes he's wrong, and we move on.
Oh, whatever.
So, with that, thank you everybody for tuning in live and chatting with us. I know this was very last minute and an impromptu stream, so we appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, you guys are the best part of the show and keep it entertaining and live. If you guys could all do us a huge favor, follow us on all of our social medias. You guys can follow that right down below on our link tree. As always, do not be a hoe. Share our show. That is the only way to not be a hoe, because I, Joe, say so. See what I did there? Yeah. We are the MWA, your favorite podcast, often imitated, always duplicated. And around here, we have a little saying that we like to say, and it is one phrase, 3 words: embrace the attitude.
Embrace the attitude.
Yeah, dude.